Hey there guys, this is Chris Hargraves from tipsforlawyers.com and welcome to Tips for Lawyers podcast, episode number 11. This episode is a bit of a different episode. Today, as I've been talking about for a little while, I'm just going to share with you a special bonus for a few people who listen to the podcast and who have clocked on during launch week, and that is the first day for free of my 10 Days to Better Business Skills course. It's a 10-part audio course, and it's designed to take you through all of the fundamental aspects of how law firms succeed, how they make profit, how people do well in law firms, and how you ultimately can add value to a law firm. I do explain most of what the course's about in the actual audio course, so I'm not going to go too far into it here. I'm just going to say, please listen to the whole thing. It's going to be a great course. It is currently available, so if you listen to it and you're interested in taking a look at the course, please go to either the show notes for the podcast, and you can find them at tipsforlawyers.com/episode 011, and that'll take you straight to the course itself, which you can also find at tipsforlawyers.com/business course. Lots of information there. There is 4 free videos with a bit more information and a bit more free content for you to have a bit of a look at, and there's also a lot of information about what the course has in it. The course is on sale now. Go and check it out. If you happen to be listening before the 28th of July 2014, then there's a special offer on in launch week. You actually get a free additional lesson as part of the 10-part course if you buy during that launch week process. So I encourage you to take a look, see how it's going, learn a bit more about it, watch the free videos. At the very least, you'll come out with some more knowledge after that exercise, and hopefully you'll take the opportunity to grab the course and take yourself through a few more fundamentals of how law firms actually succeed and how you can add value to your firm. So without any more ado, this is the course. This is day 1 for free, coming right up now. My name is Chris Hargraves from tipsforlawyers.com, and welcome to 10 Days to Better Business Skills. This is a 10-part audio course designed to provide you with an overview of some critical elements that are missing from your formal legal education. In this case, in particular, we're going to look at the elements of legal practice that relate to the legal business. This is day 1, so today I'm going to give you an overview of the course so you've got a good idea of what you're in for over the next 10 days. Business Skills is part of a larger series of courses that I'm producing, each going to be 10 days of audio courses, lessons, and tasks that you can implement to help you in becoming a more practical, more knowledgeable, more useful and valuable employee and lawyer to both your clients and to your firm. We're going to go into more detail about those other couple of areas in a moment so that you have an idea what not to expect in this particular course. But before we do, I want to give you a complete overview of the course and why I've packaged it the way I have. I'm going to talk briefly about the structure and how you can get the most out of the course. At its most fundamental, this and the other audio courses are all about helping you to create value. They're to help you be a valuable employee, a valuable contributor to your firm, but importantly, a valuable lawyer to your clients. The skills and knowledge that you're going to gain in this course will help you identify opportunities to create value, make decisions that benefit the firm. In doing so, you're going to solidify your contribution as an employee, but you're also going to find that you get more and more opportunities to expand your contributions as the firm realizes that what you are doing is impacting on the bottom line. That contribution in turn gives you a chance to put up your hand for promotion and ultimately partnership. Now, this is not a course designed specifically to get you promoted, but if you do put this knowledge to good use, I wouldn't be too surprised if your efforts in that respect get you some attention over time. So why is this an audio course rather than a visual seminar? That's pretty simple. I wanted to make this course accessible. Traditional legal seminars are all well and good, but you can't watch a seminar in your car. You can't watch a seminar on the bus. You can't watch a seminar while you're having coffee or eating your breakfast. And so this audio course is designed that you can listen to it, that you can consume it at a time that's most convenient for you, when you're properly set up to listen and to really take in what's being said, and so that you've got flexibility in when you can actually do your learning that suits your particular style, your particular lifestyle as best it can. The second reason is cost. Legal seminars are horrifically expensive, but by making this an audio course, I can offer it to you at a significantly cheaper cost than what I would have to charge if it was a video course. What I didn't want to do was to provide 5 straight hours of audio or video or whatever, have you sit down and watch and just get this huge swathe of information come into you, and then go away and forget everything, not put any of it into practice, and not actually find any of it useful or beneficial in any way. All that does, yes, it lets you tick off on your CLE or CPD points, but it really doesn't give you any benefit at the end of the day. What I've done with this course is to try and create a system of learning where you can learn about a particular aspect of legal practice and then go and immediately implement it in some way. Now, some of them are going to be only applicable to you if you're actually currently working in a law firm, but others are things that you can implement in your life, in other areas of practice, or in other areas of jobs if you're not yet working in a law firm. They are specifically designed for law firms, but there are more broad applicable principles that I'm talking about. So you don't need to be working in a law firm. It is designed to give you the benefit in a law firm, but it's not mandatory for you to get something out of this course. What we know about learning is that habitual, incremental, and consistent learning is going to be far more effective than getting a huge pile of information in bulk, most of which you're going to forget. So what I've wanted to do here is to give you a single topic in varying degrees of depth on any given day, and then some strategies that you can go away immediately and implement them. So each day we will deal with only one topic, and that means it's not a huge time commitment each day, but it does mean that you will learn one thing and you'll have an opportunity to put it into practice nearly straight away. And by doing that, my hope is that you can, in fact, get the benefit immediately out of each day of the course, but also start developing this habit of implementing what you're learning rather than just listening to things over and over again and not actually ever changing anything. Of course, there's going to be some days where the information I'm going to provide is more filed away than immediately used, but each day of this course has generally got a single topic. You can consider and implement it without losing focus. If I were to deal with 5 or 6 topics, then the stark reality is you probably wouldn't go and use any of it. But by breaking it up into discrete subjects, what I'm trying to do is get you in the habit of learning and implementation. The final reason that I haven't done it as a massive seminar or a massive thing to watch in one go is, frankly, it's easier to find 10 or 15 or even 20 minutes in a day than it is to find 1 or 2 or 3 hours. So by doing this, I think there's a greater opportunity for you to actually consume it rather than sitting down to try and find an hour in an otherwise busy life and watch a whole seminar. So I'm hoping you can get through a lesson each day. You've got access to it for longer than that, so you will be able to skip a day or two here and there, but really doing it daily I think is going to give you the best benefit. With that out of the way, let's get into the overview. The Business Skills audio course involves 10 sessions on business skills, including this one. So why business skills? Why not other kinds of skills? Well, the course is about value. Not mine, of course, but yours. The course is about providing you with the fundamental knowledge and tools you need to be able to be valuable to your firm and to your clients. Now, to be valuable to a firm, you need to understand where value actually comes from. You need to know how firms make money. You need to know how they succeed and how they fail as businesses. Otherwise, how can you create value for a firm if you don't understand what the firm actually thinks is valuable? If you can't grasp and implement the core business principles associated with running a law firm, then you'll be running blind in your endeavours to be a valuable employee. You'll just have to be making it up as you go. Sure, you can rest on age-old methods of just working harder and longer, but really this course is designed to help you work smarter, to provide value not just from your hours in the office, but from your approach to your work being better than that of the people around you. One important aspect of legal business I don't deal with in this particular course is clients. The reason for that is that there's going to be an entire dedicated 10-day course to client skills. I didn't want to overlap, so I wanted each of the courses to provide an independent topic and value. So although clients are hugely important and critical aspects of business skills, they're not going to be dealt with specifically in this course. Of course, business aspects are important, but in isolation from clients, they'd be a complete waste of time. So I do encourage you to keep an eye out for the clients course, and if you enjoy this one and get something out of it, to take that as well. Because without clients, a law firm has no purpose, no revenue, and no future. So although clients are technically a business aspect, they get their own entire session. The other one I don't deal with in here, deliberately so, is marketing. Again, given the importance of marketing in the legal field, I felt there really needed to be a dedicated course on that subject. In particular, I wanted to create a course on marketing for new and young lawyers, and I make that distinction because so many marketing texts or courses provide this list of marketing strategies which, in reality, can only be done by more senior members of the profession. They talk about ditching clients that aren't profitable and spending money. They talk about advertising regimes that young lawyers simply can't execute. So the final thing that I'm going to separate out and again not deal with particularly in this course is marketing, because I am going to have an entire course dedicated to implementing marketing strategies in your practice now, irrespective of how senior you are, so that your business development habits early in your career are starting to build up, and that as you go on, you'll be able to add layers of complexity to your own marketing, but will be well practiced at thinking like a marketer and a rainmaker. So that's enough of what business skills doesn't deal with. Let's take a more complete overview of what we'll actually be looking at over the next 10 days to better business skills. The first cab off the rank is profitability. Remember, I said this course was about allowing you to create value. And obviously a critical part of value is how what you're doing impacts on the profit of the firm. Just by itself, understanding how profit works will take you a long way towards providing value for your firm. Once we've taken a bigger picture look at profit, we're going to consider the core aspects of profit in professional services: margin, leverage, and productivity. When we talk about leverage, we're going to take a look at why leverage is such a critical component of profitability. But more practically, we're going to look at effective leverage in action. I'll use some practical examples to illustrate how leverage works and how it doesn't. Delegation is by far the biggest and most important form of leverage in law firms, so we're going to take a look at that in the most detail. After leverage and delegation, we're going to take a look at margin. That is how law firms generate money, what they spend money on, and how your decisions on any given issue impact on the bottom line. Obviously, a firm who spends more than they earn is not going to last very long, so margin is a critical, probably the most common, but a critical component of profitability. Finally, in terms of profit, we're going to consider the issue of productivity. Now, this is, in a sense, unique to professional services, the heavy weighting that productivity needs to have. And as a result of that, I could have done really an entire 10-part series on productivity, and certainly there's heaps of other resources on the topic generally. But there's less resources on the topic of productivity specifically for lawyers and how lawyers need to adapt in order to be productive as they can during their legal practice. First, we're going to consider some of the principles of productivity. So we're going to deal with things like procrastination, focus, and how to prioritize appropriately. After that, we're going to look at some specific ways you can practice that are productive and habits you can develop which are going to increase your output. Like I said earlier, this course is not about suggesting that you need to work longer hours in the day. It's about working smarter during the time that you are at the office. So if you can, during your 10 or 12 or 8 or whatever hours you're working, produce more than the people around you, then you are being more productive, you're contributing towards profitability more, and it's going to have a huge value impact on the firm. So for that reason, productivity in fact gets 2 days out of this 10-day course. Those sessions then will cover off on profit so that after that, you will have a good understanding of the interaction between those 3 core components of profit. Remember I said they were leverage, margin, and productivity, and how they go about working together in professional services. By that time, you're going to really begin to understand how firms make money, how some firms lose money, and how you as a younger lawyer can be contributing value towards profitability rather than just going for a ride. But then what's next? Well, any business to thrive needs to be adopting a constant culture of improvement. And we're going to talk about why that's necessary, how it's beneficial, and what you can do as a young lawyer to assist in that process. I want to stress that constant improvement is not another way of saying change for the sake of change. Constant improvement is a fantastic way of ensuring that you're always considering whether things are being done the best way they can be done. Change for the sake of change, however, is a waste of your time and everybody else's. So we're going to talk about both how a firm needs to adopt a culture of constant change in order to be a successful business, but also how you personally need to adopt a culture of constant improvement to be successful and productive and be constantly contributing value to your firm and to your clients. The next core aspect of legal business is really all around you every day. It's people. You need to deal with people on a constant basis in legal practice, and I'm not just talking about clients. As I said before, clients get their own special section, and so the sections on people are going to focus on in-firm dynamics. Now we're going to start by in fact taking a look at yourself, because you are part of a bigger team, but your own personal approach and your own positivity and happiness and motivation and energy are a big part of how you in fact interact with others. So we're going to look at yourself first, but then we're going to take a look at how people interact within firms, the roles various people play, and how you can go about creating an atmosphere that fosters increased profitability rather than one that doesn't. Interpersonal factors you can control, as opposed to those you can't, are many and varied, and they do contribute to the bottom line, because a well-functioning team will outperform a poorly functioning team every day of the week, even if the individuals are themselves very good. After that, we're going to consider the issue of leadership. Now, leadership comes in a couple of primary forms. The first is the one you immediately think of, which is organizational leadership. That is, your bosses and partners are the leaders of the firm you work for by virtue of their station and title. Now, that may or may not make them effective leaders. So we're going to take a bit of a look at what effective leadership is like in a law firm context. But we're also going to look at situational leadership, and this is really where the younger lawyer can start to distinguish themselves and provide a platform for their future promotion and leadership prospects. Positioning yourself as a leader early on will take you a long way towards identification as a future partner, and so understanding what you can be doing now to start working towards that goal is really important as you're going forward. Now, leadership isn't for everyone, and we'll take a bit of a look at whether you really want to be a leader or whether you don't want to be a leader. I'm not someone who believes that you can do everything just by trying. Leadership is a particular character trait, and you may or may not have it. And the easiest example of that is to look around at law firms and look at the number of people who are organizational leaders, but are not in fact effective leaders in their own right. Those topics are going to take you through to the end of day 9, and day 10 is going to be a wrap-up of business skills where we look to put it all together and help you develop a career strategy which incorporates all of the elements we've talked about into a deliberate and conscious endeavour on your part. We'll consider how each aspect we've spoken about can actually go towards improving your career prospects significantly, and how you can implement strategies and habits in your own legal career which will take best advantage of the information which you now have available to you once you've completed this course. That's the wrap-up of the 10 days. I did just have a couple of things to talk about this course. The first thing I wanted to talk about is how to get the most out of each individual component. And like I said before, implementation and action is the key here. There's no point in taking part in this course if you don't plan on using the information somehow to your advantage. I mean, if you want to tick off on your CLE points and say you've listened to a few hours of audio, that's fine, but you're not going to get the benefit that the course was really designed to give you. So at the end of each day, where I've provided any substantive information, I do have some thoughts on how you can observe, implement, or action what we've discussed on any given topic. Now, these are optional. I'm not going to mark you. I'm not going to give you any feedback, and you don't have to do them. I can't make you do them, and frankly, you're not in kindergarten, so you need to take some responsibility. But I'm telling you now, the best way that you can get something out of this course is by starting to apply the principles that you're learning, rather than just listening to them and going, oh, that was nice. Even if you disagree with me, form your own opinion, and then do something about it. Don't just disagree with me in your head and then continue doing what you were doing before. So implement what you learn. Whether it's opposite to what I say or otherwise, it doesn't really matter, but implement, otherwise nothing's changing. That's enough introductory talk, and that's the conclusion of the first day. Today's homework is simple. Allocate a time each day when you're going to take part in this course. The lessons are generally going to be 10 to 15 minutes worth of audio, plus or minus. So I'd suggest setting aside a fixed time each day when you have access to a phone or a computer or whatever you're listening on. And with that done, you'll hear from me soon, and I look forward to your participation in the course. Talk to you next time. And that was day 1 of the Better Business Skills course. Like I said at the start, you can find it at tipsforlawyers.com/business course. Tons of information there. Thanks for listening today. This is Chris from Tips for Lawyers, and I'll see you next time.